Thank you. I always mute because I don't know what I'm saying outside of it. But yeah, I was saying that my PC froze for some strange reason, and yeah, so don't worry, we just need to get the new laptop. There's 2 things I need to do to move to get a new laptop. We'll be fine. Anyways, so he went for our idea to try and get this guy here, but then our opponent plays b6 to hold these squares, but there are some other ideas we can play, so it's not completely over yet. So rook, queen goes up. Queen goes up is showing that this may be played at some point if our opponent does allow it. Not now though, but it can be played at some point. And then we have bishop to e8. This probably means he wants to bring the queen in here. Sorry. Probably means he wants to bring the queen in here and start something on this side of the board. But anyways, it's more at this point, it's more likely that black will succeed here than white, but it will depend. Abdul Rahman Akintoye versus Ferdinand. I always say Abdul Rahim. I know it's Abdul Rahim. It's just something I do, but it rolls off the tongue that way. If it's Abdul Rahim, it kind of breaks it. But if it's Abdul Rahman Akintoye, it's kind of nice. Anyways, e4, e6, d4, d5. So we have a French, advanced French. Yeah, okay. I was trying to remember what it looks like. This position looks like the French on steroids in the Scandinavian, right? In case you are wondering, I can do it this way. The French on steroids. This is how it looks like. Why is it called the French on steroids? I can't tell, but all I know is that it's a winning position for black. Oh boy. Oh, interesting. So that's why the knight travels there. There has got to be a catch. There's no way that pawn is free. Okay, b5. And that's about it. So you're going to play b5, b4. Sorry, b4, b5. Is that what we're going to do here? Take the knight out so that now we don't have to worry about defending this guy. There are now lines of this. Of course, queen protect for now, so that's fine. Takes, I'm sure we go knight takes. Pawn takes may be fine, but maybe you don't want to weaken your structure. Okay. This is the second time I've seen Mariano play this. Oh, this is the okay. This is the King's Indian that I have been talking about. This is the one that I studied, where you bring the knight over to this square and then play b4, put the knights behind the pawns and start advancing. There's a line within this place where you sacrifice your rook. That's interesting. Okay, so f3, we are going to get the traditional, like, unless of course one of them decides to trade, but with how it's going, maybe one of them will not trade. But if one decides to trade here, we are not going to get exactly the same thing, because if not, then we're going to get like f5 and like that Hikaru Nakamura game, which I've still not posted. You get the pawn push I'm talking about. Okay, and he takes, so this changes everything. Okay, bishop comes in because it's possible he wants the castle. Keira Summer, I think that's the name. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. I want to say Kyra, but because not an I, I'm not so sure. So I'm just saying it's Keira. So finally he castles like we said, but it's a very nice square for the knight. Ideally, if you trade off, sorry, not ideally, if you trade off, this is becoming dicey. This is becoming like dicey. for black, for white. Sorry? Because you are really breaking through. I can briefly look at it so that you guys understand what I'm talking about. What? Give me a second. Don't freeze on me. What's happening? Why are my A's all caps lock now? There's something going on. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. Give me a second. I just type it. I don't know if it's exactly what's gonna come. I think it's this one. I can quickly show what I'm talking about here. This is the game I'm always talking about. Don't worry, I'm not panicking. If you want to see me panicking, it's a different thing altogether. So Nakamura is playing black here, but Sissoko is playing white. Right? You can't. Yeah, you can see the full board. Yeah. So this whole idea comes in. It's live stream. Yeah, mistakes are allowed to happen. Yeah, so this is what I'm talking about. The pawns push, right? And you are like slowly unfurling your pawns against your opponent, right? Sorry, this is it still can't because of this. Okay. So we get this position. Yeah, so the knight, the rook is sacrificed around on this line. I don't remember exactly where. But what you notice is that Nakamura starts to open things up with this pawn, with his pawns. And what I like about this whole game, apart from the sacrifices and all this wonderful stuff, is the fact that he's able to, when I'm done, he's able to bring the king all the way to the center here. Yes, he's able to bring the king to the center here and checkmate here. That's why this game is very nice for me. That's the reason why I love this game, because he breaks open the king's defense, checks the king all the way here, and then checkmates him. It's one of the most beautiful games. It will take me a while to like analyze it and then do it in a video, but that's basically it. So that's what I'm talking about. Like unfurling the pawns here is pretty dangerous if you allow it. There are so many like aggressive things that can be done, especially in this King's Indian. It's one of the reasons why I study the King's Indian defense for black, but unfortunately I'm not as strong as Nakamura, so I can't really like that. Okay, Oladapo versus Toluwan Wanini. I'm struggling with these names. E4 C5, A5 A6. I forget what A6 is. C4 D6 D4. Wow. Okay. Takes. Knight jumps in. E6. Knight B3. Knight F6. I'm still wondering what the trick is here. This is what I don't like to see. And so many things I don't know. Right? In these openings, when something is sacrificed freely for you, there's always a problem with it. G3. Queen B6. And the game. This is the current position. Really? Have we really been on this position for long? It's possible there's a problem with the board, because I don't think we'll be on this move for this long, right? Plausible ideas. I mean, you can continue simply with your like bishop to G2. You can go rook here. You can go rook to D1. Castling is, I think, priority here. There's no real threats. Strong threat your opponent is putting on you. I'm looking at this move and seeing if there's something about it that we should take our time on. Maybe we should take our time on this move. So maybe the rook to D1 might be the first move you want to play. So that after the knight jumps in, then you go maybe knight takes. So that after pawn takes, bishop takes, it counts with tempo. But then your opponent has queen takes here. So I mean, there's so much to think about in this position. Maybe not so much, right? Aha, yes. My future vision, my future sight is very bad. Okay, so it's not that big of a deal. We can, if our opponent allows us, we can go for such a line. Oh wait, this game is... His opponent actually spent that long to play bishop here. Huh. This is going to be interesting. He plays the fianchetto structure but does not put the bishop in the fianchetto. That is a problem. Maybe the fact that his opponent's king is also in the center is what's making him make this decision. But this is a very dicey decision. I don't know if he's also going to go for, like, after his opponent castles, then go h4, h5. But this king is very much unsafe. Okay, I can sort of understand this also because black doesn't have a light squared bishop, which can attack the light squares. So the king is kind of safe, even if it does castle without the bishop in the g2 square. So, I mean, makes sense. But still looks creepy. Still looks creepy. Balogun versus Arnold. Amwako. Okay. Oh, my favorite line. Oh, but it happens in a different... It happened in a different way. Do I play it also slightly differently, right? D4, knight f6, knight here, g6, here, here. He goes this way. I like this one. Of course, I also go here as well, but this one is like the most fun one. That's what I'm saying, that he's playing my favorite line. By transposition, we got there. Aha. Sometimes you want to bring it back or bring it all the way here. All those moves are fine. What I don't think is optimal is to move the bishop to h4. Ah, he wants to go f4. Riandi, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. There are situations here where I close the position. Oftentimes, closing the position is not liked. And that's the thing I sometimes do is I castle queenside. Again, this is why sometimes I prefer the bishop here. So that, like, if I go takes there, it's not that big of a deal. So he closes it here. And now your opponent has, like, a very plausible, strong attack against your king. Again, you are still completely fine. But some of these things are scary. Like a5, a4, a3 weakens your structure. The knight also joins into the attack one way or the other. Very creepy stuff if you don't know what you're doing. Takes. I think he wanted to play e4, but he's allowing his opponent to block his own bishop. Castles queenside, and he doesn't block. He allows the bishop to come into the play. Huh. I see this and I'm like, this is bad. But he seems to be okay with it. Is he thinking h3, g4? Okay. I mean, that was simple. I don't know how I didn't consider it. Knight jumps in. Finally, the pawn comes out. Pawn push. If you take, the rook comes in. So this is the idea. Trying to force pawn push, which is bad for you. He plays rook. I thought he was going to go knight here. I'm sleepy. I'll blame it on the fact that I'm sleepy. I don't know why I'm not seeing this. How did I not see the guy is hanging there? I mean, then that means you can go like this, right? Your opponent might take with the queen and then you jump in this way. All plausible. Takes here is a checkmate, right? Or close to a checkmate. One of it is the case. Hmm. 20 push-ups should help the sleepiness. Trust me, my bones itself are tired. It's the muscles that get tired, but I'm saying my bones themselves are tired. I've literally been walking since morning. That's how annoying it is. And all that's entered my stomach is the cup of coffee you saw me drinking. I mean, for me to not see something as simple as this, it just goes to show that like there's something wrong somewhere. If I play a chess match right now, I'll definitely lose all of them. I'll not win a single one. That's how tired I think I am. Oh, okay. Now I get queen. I was thinking that he wants to aim for this, but he has a different mindset altogether. It could also be that he wants to like trade off here, but I think the real aim is to actually go b5 and open things up. I think that's the way he wants to go about it. That's actually the way he wants to go about it. I think he wants to go b5. So now as white here, you have to ask yourself, do I have to play defensively? Brother, how can you say that and expect me to say no? How can you expect me to say no to that? But don't you think that will make me even more sleepy? So like here, sorry, you want to play, you want to decide if you want to play defensively or if you want to go and create problems for your opponent. If you guys are interested, I'll show you a game where this kind of thing happened, and it was a game I played in the. I mean, you can just go to the YouTube and figure it out, right? It's my round 5 or 6 in 2023 nationals. I played against Mauli Richardson. It's on the channel. I think what was the title of it? Was round 2. It was round 3 to round. It was round 3 to round 6. Yeah, that's the video on YouTube. You can check on that video. Mauli Richardson played a very deadly attack against me. And it got to a point I calculated the position and asked myself, how many moves does he have to make a significant threat against me? And what can I do within those moves? Do I defend or do I create problems for him? Ultimately, I decided to create problems for him, and that's what saved my position. Right, so here you can see that your opponent has a very dangerous attack coming up. These rooks are not there to do. When I see this, I think here. Or that it's going to replace the knight if you decide to capture. But I think the next move we're going to see is b5. But what black is going to try and calculate is, why is the knight coming in here? But if you can imagine b5 here and the knight jumping in here, I don't know if it's a good idea, but you can play this. Benedict, how you doing? He said, yeah, but it's better than coffee the whole day. Trust me. You know the funny thing? I'm not even going to stream the whole thing. I'll be stopping around like 5:15. And I'm going elsewhere. I'll get back home by like 1, and that's when I'm going to eat. So believe me, it's coffee the whole day. I'm not going to eat until tomorrow morning at 1. That's the worst time to eat, right? So I've already accepted my fate. Oh, Sundays. Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking here. I think b5 is the move, but I'm trying to figure out, like, is there something else we can do here, right? Try and take the sting out of our opponent's attack. Does this solve the attack? Does this make us okay, right? Because now our opponent is going to go this way, and even though the queens are off the board, I don't know, this is looking scary. But watch the engine disagree with me as I turn on the engine. Oh, the engine agrees with me. You know, it's a running gag on this stream that I say a lot of things why I support the position, and when I turn on the engine is like, yeah, everything you said is trash. That's why I always say that. Like, the engine is just annoying. But I don't know if the engine is going to support b5 here. Yeah, it does support b5. b5 is the best move here. So that's what we're expecting here. Black is just supposed to go all out. Dashan Ray, welcome. Good to see you. It's been eons. Hey gang is all saying hey. That's nice. So it's minus 2.3. The current position is minus 2.3. Yeah, so good position for Arnold. Wait, I just realized. Whoa, this would be an upset because he's about 300 rating points lower than Balogun. I know what's going to happen. Balogun is going to win this. No, these high rated players, when you start winning against them, you start doubting yourself even more. You just start doubting yourself and you end up messing up, and then you either draw or you lose the game. So I'm expecting him to lose this game. Yeah, so now what do you do here? This is coming in, right? If you dodge with the knight, you get pawn takes. right? And now I think you want to keep this rook. You want to bring this rook in and create problems for your opponent. This would be a very nice upset. So if Wako Arnold wins this, it's going to be the round. It's going to be the other games for the round. I'm taking 4 games from each round and I'm analyzing them. 2 are the Ghanaian games. The other 2 are games I felt were exciting or were okay that we can just look at. So you can always check the YouTube channel. I'll post them all. I can't not post them. I have to post them. As annoying as it is to analyze them. Right? I recall when I started analyzing and making YouTube videos, someone was like, very soon I'll become one of the strongest players because I'll have analyzed everybody's games and know what they do. And here I am with 1667, right? Not even qualifying for phase 2. It's funny. I want to see what White's response is because I couldn't find a decent response. You could go here, like I said, to try and take out the sting, but what we saw is that it doesn't actually take out the sting because if black who's attacking decides to trade and goes this way, you haven't achieved anything. That's what we looked at. Another thing I was trying to look at is this move to see if blocking of the bishop does anything. But again, you would have to make a decision here. If you go back, still a problem. If your opponent can even go pawn push, right? But takes is what I think is much more beneficial because you're threatening to take again. If your opponent plays pawn push, you're threatening to take again, and you're opening the rook line. So it's not looking good for Balogun. It's not looking good for Balogun. Kennedy! Let's see how Kennedy is doing. I'm not seeing what his results are. So he lost his last 2 games. Oh, Kennedy, my boy, I believe in you. Please tell me you played the London system today. Yes, I convinced him. I've been disturbing him over text to play the London system, and he did it. This is what's called the accelerated London. The actual London system is to go knight first, right? And then after your opponent goes this way, then you go this way. But bishop f4 first is called the accelerated landing. I mean, though everybody just calls it landing, right? Okay, we have different move orders. Okay. Oh, and for me, if my opponent does this, it's automatic trade, right? Very good. This is usually not good for black, but he's fine. Again, this c4 capture, I don't get it. It's not bad, it's just draw. That's all I can see. Maybe I'm going to grow up and realize that it's better. I don't know. This is not the London system game I've come to know and love. Do they just want to go for an easy draw? Because that's where we are going towards. This is not that big of a deal. Like we are going for a draw. A way we can make use of this knight is to try and come this way. But black may be better. The 2 bishops versus the 2 knights. Are we live? Yeah, we are. Why, what's wrong? Can you not see me? We are definitely live. Muloma, what's up? It's been ages. It's been ages. How are you doing? Yeah, we are live. We are live. Everything is still going on. Sicilian, we are live. Or do you mean it in a different way? Like it's something else live? Yeah, we are live. We are live. We are definitely live. Yeah, but Kennedy, I don't know. I feel better for black than I do for white. Though I think this game might just dwindle down into a draw. I still think that black is slightly better. Engine says minus 0.3, which basically means it's a drawn position. So yeah. You're good? Hey, that's great. That's great. That's great. It's always good to have you guys around. I'm always encouraged when I see you guys dropping in. You know, when you're streaming and there's no one watching, it's like, what am I doing with my life? But when you guys drop around, I love seeing the support from Africa. Like, people want to see their players do well. So when you guys drop in, join the analysis and the conversation, I really do appreciate it. So even if you are there even lurking, right, I hope you're enjoying the stream. I hope you're learning something, and I hope you keep coming back. Even if you just come back to lurk, I do appreciate your presence here. Yeah, so you can always consider following, subscribing on YouTube, following on Twitch, or subscribing on Twitch to help me monetarily. Then I'll be very grateful with that as well. So we are on who? Kamara versus Mustafa. Okay. We have a Najdorf Sicilian. Now a Sicilian that I know. Right? They've been playing these Sicilians that I don't know. Oh. This looks like a Grand Prix attack. The reason I know the Grand Prix is because of Dave Champon. The first ever video I made of him, this was the game he played. It was against Boheim Eugene. It's also on the channel, you can check it out. The title is ATL Rising Star. Bishop to E7, that was 4 years ago. Castle's queenside. Queen to C7, G4. Wow. This is an all-out attack. So is he just going to trade the bishop and then play G5? Yeah. I have never seen this move before. So it's a well-known sacrifice. So if he takes it, then I think the knight takes, coupled with the fact that this is coming in, is where the problem comes from. Pawn push, attacking the bishop. Bishop attacks the queen. Knight jumps in. Pawn takes. Bishop takes with check. I think I can just conclude that white is winning. Unless, of course, I don't understand the position. Which I don't. But bishop takes, if anything at all, the issue here is this, and then pawn push comes in, right? And we put pressure on our opponent's king here. And then we can even just keep on going, like, there's some pressure here. We can still try and make our opponent uncomfortable with h5, h4, h5, right? So I think that is it. Actually, it's white to move, so can't white just solve his problems? Like something like this. The queen is there. For a second, I thought this was plausible. I don't know, even if the queen is there, it's not a big deal. Isn't this just deadly? I know, like this might be a problem, but you have to respond to this first. Here, our opponent takes, we can come in here. Bishop comes in here, we just take, so it's not a big deal. Queen comes in here, we just take, so it's not a big deal. Queen comes in here, on the other hand. Then I think that one we've entered into draw territory, because if we go this way, then the bishop comes in, then we just... Okay, nah. Okay. So what do we do here? Because pawn push allows this. You come in here, and now that the king is not defending with the bishop, these attacks are plausible. Who is that girl? How are you doing? Welcome. I'm good. Hope you guys are good as well. I mean, the point I'm trying to make here is that if eventually, actually no, I'm missing something very key here. I was trying to make the point that if black runs out of checks, then we have this. So black would have to be careful about this. But it seems black does not have to be careful, because once those floodgates open, very good. You pointed it out correctly. I noted it, I was too focused on the defense that I forgot to look at this. Right, the queen definitely is hanging. So how do we do something like, how do we make a good threat here as white? Like, how do we continue here? Because white is now up a piece. Right, do we just give one piece back, or is there like some way we can cause problems? That's the first move I thought about. But how about bishop here? Then we immediately go here. It solves one problem, right, and still creates this issue. Pawn push does not work because you still have takes with check, and then you can take again. So right, maybe even if you do a pawn push one square, still think there's an issue. I want Warigo, you are the attacking player. How do we get this to work? You are the aggressive one here. How do we get this to work? Oh boy. How do we get this attack to work? How do we get this attack to work? If bishop doesn't take, isn't that just good for us? You have a piece up. Why do you want to attack? Well, it seems possible. It seems like we can make a strong attack. That's why I want to attack. But it's just going to show that, like, after takes here, allowing this may be too big of an issue. Bro, I've seen your games. Don't try and lie. Right? I mean, you can just call it quits here, right? You can also just call it quits here. It's never too late to call it quits. Never too late to call it quits. But it's going to be an interesting game to see. So let's look at the other games. Let's look at the other games. Okay, this game has dwindled into silence. Petrov. Seeing so many varied openings today. Mostly when I'm doing these coverages, I don't see varied openings, but now I'm seeing a lot of varied openings. Okay, nothing much has gone on in this game. Just a basic development. Let's see what Bernard is doing now. Bernard is playing an aggressive attack. He's pushing everything, right? He's the forward ever, backwards never kind of guy right now. I think it's because the opponent's a rated. He doesn't want to. He's putting pressure on his opponent in hopes that his pressure will make his opponent mess up. I attack when I need to. Else I like to squeeze my opponent to resignation. Right, yeah, right. Your way of squeezing them into resignation is called attacking. Okay, so pawn takes. King comes back. Okay. Sacrificial lines are arising. Rook DG8. Knight jumps in. Okay, there's a target on e3. Bishop takes. It's a forced takes. You want to take with the rook, but I'm sure if he takes with the pawn. These guys. The other rook comes in. Retreats. Is it going to do a realignment sort of thing? Yeah, this looks bad, right? The moment you start moving backwards, it's always a bad sign. It means that something didn't work somewhere, right? So every time I see someone attacking and the person starts going back, oftentimes it usually sounds like a bad sign, but maybe it's all completely still fine, right? But now it's like he's all back. And it is also a good trait to know when to stop attacking as an aggressive player, right? When you're aggressive, it's also a good idea to know when to stop. Because I think these were the moves, but now, like, I mean, he's completely fine. Black may just be winning here. We still do have this movement, that is movement motif that we talk about, this hanging guy. Or this is the current position. Let's see what the engine thinks. Yeah, black has evened it out. Black has evened it out. It was much worse. It was like a minus 1 or minus 0.9, which is basically like not so good. Yeah. Let's see Jeshron's game. I think Jeshron was having a field day, right? No. We got to this point where the bishop came in. Yeah. This is where we had that whole conversation about the knight takes. Bishop takes, knight takes, queen takes, queen takes, knight takes, and then finally we take. So we've gotten into a sort of like end game position where black is up a pawn. And the other advantage that black has is that it's a bishop versus a knight, and pawns are on both sides of the board. but you still have to play this and win, right? These are just slight advantages that black has over white, but then again, white is still completely fine. Wow. That allows like a3, a4, yeah. One push. The knight is slowly coming in. King comes up. No, I don't think it's the line you want to play. Yeah, he doesn't play it. He allows the knight to fall. Sorry, he allows the pawn on b4 to fall. What am I missing here? Ah, yes. So you take... You get, I think... Pawn takes, right? Takes... I don't think that was a big deal. Let's go back. Oh. This trade is just good for... Yeah, this trade is just good for black. Especially after this trade. Black was fine, but especially after this trade, black is just chilling. And I get his point. He wants to win this guy, but this isolated pass pawn is much better. Did I say isolated? It's not isolated. This connected pass pawn is actually better. You take here, I take here, and that's about it. Yeah. If this was his plan, it's not where you want to be. Yeah, I like black here. Etilumen. Mini. What am I looking for? Second. Okay. Is it a cow opening? I don't know what a cow opening looks like. I felt a cow opening is something I played when I started chess, but other than that, it's not good. It's a very evenish position. White has more space. Black has inside pressure. Check, knight jumps in, takes. Queen comes in, check. Huh. A sacrifice exists, but it's bad, I think, right? Unless maybe you go in here, but maybe let's say you go in here. Again, this is bad. I don't think you should play it, but this is something. Actually, it's completely fine. But I think you are going to be losing this position. Yeah. Okay, no, it's an even position, but your opponent has this advantage over you. So you are going to slowly try and come in, deal with this pawn, and then there's a draw. But I think black should be slightly better here. Says even. Okay. But king g6 is actually good. Whether here or here, the best move is definitely going to be here. Sorry. And we can go from it. Actually, even in this line, if you go for the exact same thing we mentioned, then that's actually going to be very good. Because if your opponent, for example, goes here, we've realized that it's actually a bad idea. Why? Because if the rook comes in with check, the king has nowhere to go. Bishop takes, and now there's nothing defending the rook over here. So you would have to... Yeah, so you can take the pawn first. And again, why would we want to take the pawn first here? If our opponent... I don't think that's what the engine is suggesting. But like the point I'm looking at here is that if you come in here with check, and the bishop takes, and rook takes, and then you come in here blocking, takes, queen takes, takes. Now this is a bigger issue for you. I think here it says that here white, yeah, +3. right? I think this is what the engine would rather want that we do here. So you have to take care and then transpose into an end game, right? Go into an end game, because if you're able to do that, these pawns are just going to be like dangerous for your opponent, and you are simply going to have to just defend one thing. Your opponent is going to have to defend a lot more. Even in the line that we are looking at right over here, let's go this way. Let's say we come in here and our opponent comes in here. You can't ignore this. You just can't ignore this, right? You can't just say, oh, I'm going to come in here and ignore this, because I believe that white can actually just do this and still be fine, right? The queen is going to come back, watch these guys. This king is going to come, take these guys, and then promote more pawns. I think that's like that's what could happen. Even the queen could actually even take this guy first and then hold the forts here. You don't even need the participation of the king over here. You just push the pawn forward and then you just keep pushing, because the king has to help in the defense of these guys. So I think white is just completely fine here. If he finds takes first, and that's everything. This again does not help you because of the exact same line. In case somebody is thinking about that line, right? You can't come in here, you can't come in here, you can't come in here, you can't come in here. You have to block it, and that is where the issue is. So white is completely fine. Like, white is completely controlling the game here. I think with the queen is also the exact same thing again. This sacrifice is too good, right? Because you can bring the queen. Sorry. Rook takes and the queen can defend, right? So that's yeah, it's completely over. It's completely over. There was an interesting game. It was the game before Kamara, right? It was the game before Kamara. No, that's Kennedy's game. It wasn't Kennedy's game. There was some interesting game we're looking at. Yes, the Balogun game. Yes. So b5. Oh, the knight jumped in like I was thinking. And now we have b4. He takes, which allows check. Is check really that effective? I don't think so. Maybe queen takes. Check. Blocks with the knight. Would the move be just to ignore and then play rook to b8? Pawn push? I don't know about pawn push. But if queen takes, then what do you do? Do you just play bishop takes? Again, still, it doesn't make sense. I don't know. Maybe I'm not familiar with this attacking motif. But I don't think you want to play pawn takes. It looks weakening. That's why I'm looking at queen takes. But then is this the issue after queen takes? I think here white is just better. Yeah. I don't know about c3. Let's just look at it with the engine. Engine still thinks it's a very good move. Should play b takes c3. Okay, after knight queen takes, we should go knight a4. Oh, I'm dumb. I didn't even consider knight a4. That was just sad. Yeah, knight a4 just makes sense. Putting pressure on this guy. I was thinking the attack would go in a different way, right? Balogun is in trouble. A lot of trouble. Oh, I'm pulling my hair. That's kind of stress. Okay. Oh, this is the game. Yeah, this is Koji's game. Okay. Targeting the weakness here. Trying to see if there's a way we can get a knight here. Do this. I don't know if also trading off the rooks makes any sense. I don't know if that's what you want to do. That's fine. Where do we leave this game? Ah, this was the French on steroids, right? There's another game I was looking at. Yeah, okay, so after the knight comes in, she continues the attack. So ideally you want to go c takes d6, and c takes d6. Yeah, you have this, targeting this guy. And I think it's not so clear how you defend it. And again, if I'm missing something, the engine will show. Yeah, plus 1.6. Yeah, I think that's too significant. That's kind of like what I was looking at. You may have missed it. This b6 move may have been the issue. I don't know if locking the position is what you want to do. Like, I don't think locking it is what you want to do. You do have this square, but then that's about it. There's not much you can do beyond that. So I think you don't want to close the position. You want to take it. Oh, we already saw this. Okay, so Balogun is still thinking. Let's allow him to think. Let's see how Bernard is doing. Bernard isn't spending any time. He's just going all out attack, and he's not spending much time. Ah, we spoke about this. What kind of transposition is this? Everything left the queen side. Everything left the king side. But you have to be careful, because this rook can join the attack at any time. He defends it. Okay, we can still play it and go this way. All of it is fine. Maybe you would want to go here first and see where your opponent moves to defend. If your opponent does this, you gain tempo. And if your opponent does this, you don't gain tempo, but you can still do this. Actually, wait, there's no need to do that. Yeah, if the queen does go here, you just do this, right? And this is what you're targeting. Again, it's 2 rooks for a queen, which is equal in quotes. Oh boy. Let's stick to the Balogun game and see. Let's see the Balogun game and see what's going on there. Okay, we've had some moves. Okay. So we had pawn takes, which is what we expected to see. Then he has played the knight a4. Yeah. He has played knight a4. Queen is leaving. I think the move here is this. Or maybe you check first, then you play that. I need help with this attack. Knight b2. Knight b2. That's a move I don't see. Or a5. All these moves I didn't recommend them. Knight b2 attacks the queen. I don't get. Is it like I want to come in here then go this way? That way, if this happens, then you have this. King comes in here. Takes, I guess. Check. I don't know if it is it. Let's look at it. I'll lag for a bit, but here we go this way. King goes to e2. Rook a to c8. Knight to b3. Queen to a2. Rook h to f1. Knight to c. Oh my god. Some of these lines don't look humanly possible. Maybe humans can't play them, but if I'm right, all that Arnold is looking for is like attacking moves. All the moves he plays with attacking moves, but to me they don't look like something obvious or something you would play. Unless maybe you're like 2200 or something. But maybe my Arnold sees it. Ah boy. He might simply play like Queen to b2. Arnold might simply play Queen to b2. I don't think Knight to b2 is difficult to see. Knight to b2 and then the reply after the queen moves to e2, the knight to b2 move attacking the queen. Both look like that one looks obvious, sorry. But I don't know as to whether he'll play it. He might play something like rook ac1, ae1, rook ae8 first. Or even maybe here he play rook c8. You think blitz tournaments are better? They are more action packed, but I prefer rapid games. You can think through the moves. Queen d3 is trying to trap the queen. Ah. So because the queen can't run away to that square, that's what it's doing. Okay, cool. Cool. Thank you guys for helping my tired mind, right? I get it. So the point of knight b2 is not necessarily to attack the queen, but it's a tempo move that allows the queen to run away using the a file. Okay, I think that's it. I think that's it. I think that's what you're trying to say. I said it like It's not so easy to see this whole line. I just hope this doesn't affect him. Now -1. So yeah. But that's the most likely move I think someone of my level would see, right? And it's 1800, so that's why I wasn't putting my bets on knight to b2. But if you saw knight to b2, that would have been crazy. But the rook move is very obvious and makes perfect sense. But clear, everybody has their preference. Some prefer blitz, some prefer rapid. I prefer rapid. 15 plus 10, 30 plus 30, 30 plus 0. I prefer those ones. He probably saw knight b2, but rook c8 to our minds, I mean. But what I would definitely have played is rook b8, rook c8. I wouldn't have gone knight b8. Knight b2, sorry. I don't see how it continues the attack, in my opinion. All I'm praying is that as I sleep in the trotro, nobody steals my bag. But I'll be sleeping in the trotro today for sure. I'll be sleeping for sure. Oh. But I still stick to my initial prediction that Balogun will either draw this game or win this game. Experience. You know, there was a player in Ghana called Kopilov. He always used to call that thing track experience. Was it him? Yeah, I think it was him. Yeah. When he died, we played a tournament called the Kopilov Memorial. Jeshron, I guess. Okay, Jeshron we already saw. He's like, yeah, he's just too much better. Am I not at home? I am at home, but I'm about to leave. Oh boy. I'm gonna take a shower and I'm off. The only time I've ever streamed off outside is the Africa Games. But this is the safest place to stream. Oh yeah, like we said, Semeko wins. His opponent resigns here. Aizai. Has Bernard made any progress? His opponent is really struggling to find moves. Yeah, we mentioned this. The rook is coming in here. Queen coming in here might be a problem. Let's see what my man Canada is doing. Then we'll go back to the Balogun game. Hopefully some moves have been made. Like I said, nothing. I had to expect this game to end in a draw. By this time of day, hasn't Maxwell told you about me? Now this looks plausible. Thing here is, I think it's a decent move. But now begs whether this can be made. Yeah. Okay, so where we go? He did C knight B2, like he said. Yosh. Ken will win that, by the way. Kennedy. Let's see. Let's see. He played the London, so I want him to win. I'm only on Kennedy's side when he plays openings I play. Beyond that, I'm against him. And I'm just praying for the President's Cup because he plays in the President's Cup. I want to beat him in the President's Cup. That's all. I think that I have to make a new list of people to beat. When I beat other people I beat in the past, I lost all interest. I have to make a new list, and this time I have to make a list of titans that I want to beat. I'm going to mess with Kennedy. I'll beat Kennedy. I'll beat Aquanda. Sorry, Hasford. Any big name, I just beat all of them. He knows what to move, but he doesn't know how to do that. Because I think now it's even a little bit bad because now this move exists. At first, this move didn't come with check, but now it does. And the rooks coming in is a pressure move. It's pressure to you. So what's here? There's queen to e4. So let's look from queen to e4. Huh. I think I'd be happy to see queen to e4. Because there's options of this, right? I think you need a shooting star for this to work. Let's see. Let's see. Like I said, if I can put in the work, why not? Oh boy. Oh boy. I need some accomplishments before I leave the chess scene. You know? Maybe I should do a Bobby Fischer and then go 9 out of 9 for both qualifiers and phase 2. If I do a 9 out of 9, now there'll be something called the Hawking prize or the Mason prize, and everybody has to beat it. I think the Fischer prize is 11 out of 11, right? Yeah. So this one is 18 out of 18. Let's see if anybody can beat it. I mean, I want the underdog to win. That's why I'm very interested in this game. I want the underdog to win. The Asian opponent has not resigned yet. I can't say it with a straight face. All I have to do is do it. I don't need to say it with a straight face. All I need to do is do it. Saying with a straight face doesn't change anything. All I have to do is do it. You know, there was one time when I was quite new to chess. University of Ghana, the school chess team was training, and I went to join the training. Then all of them had like a training partner, and one of them was not having a training partner. And I went to her and I was like, "Hey, you don't have a training partner. How about I help you train?" This girl looks at me dead in the eye and says, "If I play against you, my skill level will drop." She just be nice and say, "No, I won't train with you." But that's what she does. She looks in my eyes and tells me that. And she says it so loud that everybody looks at me and people feel sorry for me. And I'm like, okay. As I'm standing there contemplating my life, I'm like, don't worry, my revenge will be swift and painful. So eventually they left the school and we became the school team, right? I, Toby, A. Kings, Clinton, Bannerman, so on and so forth. And one day I was going to study at the University of Ghana Library. And Toby calls me, "Why am I not surprised you support the underdog? Who doesn't support the underdog?" Okay, the only time I think people supported the underdog, sorry, supported a superior player was Ding versus Gukesh. I think majority of people were on Ding's side than Gukesh's side. The whole of India was on Gukesh's side, but I think maybe it's my mind. I think most people were on this thing. Did she lie? At that point in time, she didn't lie. At that point in time, she didn't lie because I was trash. But you don't have to say it like that, right? You just don't have to say it like that. So I'd been training, and I was going to study at the University of Ghana Library, and then I get a call from Toby. Manuel, come to Dreamfort right now. I'm like, yo, I'm going to study. There's no real. I have no plans to go to Dreamfort today. She was like, no, come to Dreamfort now. I said, madam, why? She was like, remember this girl? I was like, yeah. She said, she has come to Dreamfort and we are playing the tournament in like an hour's time. I said, say no more. Say no more. I dropped everything. I ran, picked up like 2-3 cars, went to Spintex. And I was like, guys, I'll play. I've forgotten how much you had to pay for that tournament, right? But every money I was going to pay, right? I joined the tournament. I was doing okay, and then one of the rounds I had to face her, and I was like, okay, it's about to go down. Now, mind you, I don't know whether she's good or not. Like in my mind, she's cool team, so like she's like killer, and I'm now coming to beat the giant, you know. So we start playing, and I'm like, whoa, this girl is trash. I'm like, whoa, she's trash. I didn't use the word trash. I'm using trash because I'm streaming, but I was like, nah, this girl is not as good as I thought she was. So what I did was I wanted to punish her, and I know, unless of course she thinks I'm forgettable, but I know that she knew why I did what I did. And most people know me to be a quote unquote at that point in time like very respectful chess player. I guess maybe in my mind, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Sometimes I think funny things. And at the point everybody had finished their games and only I and that girl were playing. And when you look at the board, I have 4 queens, a bishop and a knight, and she just has a king. And people are like those who don't know like what she did to me are like, they're like, why doesn't he just checkmate her? And you can see Toby at the back laughing. Oh god, I remember it so well. And I just decided this is how I'm going to checkmate her. Eventually I checkmated her and she resigned, not just the game, but she resigned the tournament. So don't say that about anybody's chess skill, because one day they'll come back and clear the board with you. Now roll the clips of me laughing at people's chess skill. I'll keep this line in mind the next time we're about to play. I've not played against you on the board before. Oh boy. And again, it's her fault. I mean, if she was nice to me, I wouldn't have done that to her. If she was nice to me, I would never have done that to her. Right? Clinton has been nice to me, so I don't play bad on the board. I'm always going to hold it against Clinton. But I have a winning record against Clinton. Right now, he would wipe the floor with me, but I do have a winning record against Clinton. And it's all in the name of games we played when we were on campus. I also have a winning record against Prince Apa. It's just one win. Can you imagine that? Oh boy. And I'm holding it over their heads. I thought Isaac Kennedy is going to win this game. This game has been so boring. I don't see him winning it. This game is not going anywhere. Let's see my friend who is playing well against Balogun. But that was a real funny story. Yeah, Balogun still hasn't moved since this move was played. But I'm not joking when I say I think Balogun will either draw or win this game. I'm not joking. These uber aggressive games, if you don't have the mind of calculating it very well, you will mess up because you are going to overextend trying to attack. And because sometimes you don't know how to disengage and you don't know how to read positions, like the way the engine is recommending some very strange lines, if you can't see things like that, eventually your attack is going to be messed up and your opponent will counter attack. It's mostly what happens when, again, his opponent is 1800, so the likeliness of that happening is not that high, but mostly it does happen. It's something I see very commonly, especially when the ratings are skewed and then the lower rated player has a very good position. That's mostly what happens. They get excited, they try and force the attack, they try and do one or two things, not realizing what it does. Because in an end game, with everything off and it's just the kings, I think this position is very good for Balogun. You can imagine that if this attack fails and every piece on the board is traded and they just left with the kings, Balogun is winning. All he has to do is successfully find the best defensive maneuvers and he's golden. Bernard still hasn't made headway. You think so? I'm actually to the contrary of that notion. Okay, we'll play a check first, I'm sure. Queen check first, right? That was my second option, but I thought the queen check would happen first. Technique? Doesn't technique take calculation as well? Oh, I think if you take and I take, this is a problem for you. Then what's the next line? I don't know what else you can do here. Does this close off the attack? No, you just have this. Why would you take material that is not yours to keep? That's funny. But anyways, I have to start. I have to go and I have to be somewhere. Actually, I'm supposed to be there by 6. I'm going all the way to Dome, but I won't get there by 6. I'll get there by like 7. But the meeting ends around like 9:30, 10. So getting there by 7 is not bad. Thank you guys. I do appreciate you being here. Tomorrow, which is Monday, I think will be the last round 8 and 9, and then we'll continue. We'll get back to our regular scheduled programming, which is Mondays and Tuesdays. I normally do the ELO grinding streams where I just try and raise my rating and have discussions with you guys. We do funny stuff. It's not just about me playing chess. And then on Fridays, I play against the viewers. So if you've ever wanted to play against me, you can subscribe, you can follow. Wait till Friday. Friday I play viewers, right? So you can always do that if you want to play against me. African time. My alert is not there. I used to have this announcing thing here. Yeah. So GMT, right? So 10 a.m. GMT or 6 p.m. EST. 6 a.m. EST. Sorry, there's a 4-hour difference now. Yeah. 10 a.m. GMT or don't we just play rook takes pawn? Anyways, so that's basically what's gonna happen. So